Woohoo! Welcome to Spirit Sessions of You, the Light. We are all so happy to see you and be here with you and spend a little bit of time with you, because what we do at Spirit Sessions is we find so much transformation, validation, even inspiration. So if you're here for that, come on in, and we're glad to have you. I'm burning a little bit of sage for everybody. Feels so good. Come on in and share this out to all your friends who may find this inspiring, validating, and healing as well. And send it to go to YouTube and subscribe and share it out. And there's so much to share with everyone all around, and we really appreciate that. I'm Teresa Warren. We have Rhonda Elliott and Bex Marie. Those are my co-hosts and sisters. And today we have the amazing guest, Jackie Dennison. Welcome.
Hi girls. Good to see you again.
Yeah, woohoo. So,
hi,
Rhonda.
Jackie. It's wonderful to see you again. And last year we met for the first time face to face. We were on your show, Psychic Diaries.
Yeah.
And now we're on your network, veryparanormal.com, and we're so excited to be there. And that's been such a great opportunity for us. And we wanted to touch base with you because it's been about a year since we met, and we just wanted to have you back in for the new year to tell us what's going on in your field and just ask you some cool questions and just get to know you a little bit better.
Yeah, like-minded souls. I like this. You know, when you just get together and you have a good old natter about what's going on in the spiritual world. By the way, Teresa, I can smell that sage. It smells gorgeous.
Thank you.
I love that.
I love the smell of sage. It's so beautiful, isn't it? Yeah, literally. Gone. That's it. I'm good for the day. I've been getting up to all sorts of things here. As you know, I live in England. So with COVID, of course, we're working a lot more on the internet than we were previously. But in between all of that, I've been, I can tell you a little tiny bit, but I can't tell you a whole load. I'm working on a new show with a young medium. Her name is Megan Downs. She's an up-and-coming new medium. She's a gorgeous girl. She trained at Feathers, so I know I've known her for quite a long time. And we're working on a show together. We've done 2 episodes so far. Can't tell you what it's about. Can't tell you anything other than that. Other than we're having a great time working together. Yeah.
Is it going to be where will you host this? Where will be everybody be able to see it? On your network or
I can't
even tell you.
Can't even tell you that right now.
Oh, no. That's so much fun. No. And okay, can you tell us a bit about your Feathers Academy, because that's been working really over time?
Yeah, it has, and I'll tell you, we've had 1 or 2 blips when we thought that because of COVID we might have to close, close the doors. So I just handed it over to them upstairs and said, look, if you want me to stay open, then you're going to have to do something. And yeah, they did. They started bringing a lot more people online. So I'm doing once a month with my business partner, with Steve Furlong. I do a workshop once a month online on a Saturday. It's 5 o'clock till 7 o'clock UK time. So I think that's about 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah.
And we do something different each month. I think the next one is cosmic ordering that we're going to be doing. So that's done from Feathers. You're in Feathers today. You're in the Oriental room. We've got the Egyptian room next door. We've got the butterfly room downstairs. We have themes going on everywhere. So Feathers is open again now, thankfully. We're only a very small shop downstairs. We sell lots of crystals. I have to give you a guided tour at some point.
Oh, yeah.
I'll let you see
that
everything.
Would be fun.
Yeah. And so we sell crystals and cards and all kind of spiritual stuff downstairs. And of course, now we can open the doors again for people to come in, even though we have the masks and everything, of course. And but we're such a small shop that we can only limit, you know, how many people are in at one time. Yeah.
You can have big crowds in. So can people, like, I guess from Canada, can enroll in your Feathers Academy? It's sort of psychic development, right? That's mainly what you do, is it kind of?
Yeah. Yeah, well, the workshop is a different workshop each month, you know, that so a lot of the people who do attend are from Canada. Well, that's why we do it at that sort of time, 5 till 7, so we can, you know, it's sort of an open on a Saturday. People are more available on a Saturday to do that kind of thing. But during the week, the psychic development classes that we do, weekly classes, are usually in-house. We have done them online, um, and you can do so much online, but it's so when you can get together and you can share each other's energy, and you've got a group of people who are able to work with each other's energy, there's so much more you can do, because we
Yeah.
do a lot of crystal work. Then I work with a lovely lady called Julie Sutton. She does the development classes with me on a Tuesday night, and she does half an hour with crystals and energy work before we start to do the development. So they get to know quite a lot about energy in all of its different forms, which is it's really nice. And to be able to see those groups developing, and we've got groups now that have been to, you know, they may have trained here, say, 15, 20 years ago, but they're still together as a group, you know, which is really nice.
That's
Well,
awesome.
We started in a group, in a class together, and we found that just even in the class, even though we were all on Zoom, and I'm in Canada, and Teresa's in Tennessee, and Bex is in New Hampshire, even though we all that part, we found that when we got together, we could share so much more, and that it kind of upped our level, up leveled us, say, when we were together.
Yeah.
So that, and we were probably together another lifetime.
When you said that, Rhonda, I was watching everybody's expression then, and it was like, yay. You were all linking in at the same time. It was something. But you know, that's what's so great about when you meet up with spiritual people. And I truly believe that it's spirit who are guiding us to each other. It's like, oh yeah, you will do well working with that person, and let's bring that person in. That's got, you know, we've got a different point of view there, and that's how we learn. We learn from each other, of course, all the time.
For sure, we have. I mean, go ahead, Teresa. You have something to say. I can tell.
Oh, unmute. You're muted. There you go.
Yeah.
You don't need to
I
mute
agree
anymore.
with all of the synergy and how it mixes together. It's like nothing like it. One in a million sometimes, the way mixes come and what comes out of it. So yeah, we should mix and do things, but have your core group too.
Yeah.
And it's even you, like me, always attracted to your energy from the time I saw you on television the first time. Sorry, I'm fangirling, but truly, like I felt like, wow, this is somebody I'd really like to get to know, because I really like your energy. I love the show, and I just like totally vibed with your show. And people, if you want to know, you can watch the replays of Jackie's show with her two partners on veryparanormal.com. Just giving you a little like plug, and you can watch them, and they're so much fun. You can cast them to your television, and it's excellent. So yeah, I told my son about it and all the ghost hunting that goes on there too, from UK and Canada, because there's such a connection there.
I would love to hear
Rhonda.
about. Oh, I would love to hear about maybe one of your, like, because you did it. You have recent episodes from this past season, right? So maybe what's your favorite experience from this past season when you got to go in and help a spirit pass over?
There's so many, you know, to choose from, and each one has its own specialty, if you like, you know. So you can get involved with the homeowners, really involved with the homeowners as individuals. I think one of the episodes that really stands out is one that I've done with Alison, and the young lady's name was Sherilyn. And she so spiritual, such a lovely spiritual young lady, and she'd had all sorts of things going on in the house, and she was thinking she was going crazy, and people really didn't believe what was happening to her, but it was. And she's an amazing healer, and it was one of the few times where we had a homeowner help us with the rescue.
Oh,
And
cool.
yeah, and so in fact, Sherilyn has become such a big part of my life, that, and she's such a wonderful healer, that the Feathers healing page that we have on Facebook, we asked her to run that healing page for us. So she gives a lot of healing advice out to different people, along with Brian Lancaster, who's another excellent healer. So yeah, so special people that you meet along the way for different reasons. And of course, you get attached to the spirits as well that you meet. It's like you have real favorites there. But,
Patty was asking, what was your favorite or best sighting? I guess. I guess. Yeah.
do you mean the best sort of spirit that I
Yeah.
meet, that I've
Yeah.
met? Well, I don't want them all coming at me and saying, "Hey, what about me? Hey, what about me?" I think one of the very early ones was a chap called Aaron Churchill Mansion, and he had quite a um, hmm, he had an effect on us both. He had quite an effect on us both. And so you remember different episodes for different reasons. And so that particular episode, I remember because of him, because of how upstanding he was, and of course, when you get all the research that comes in as well to back up what you've experienced while you're there, it puts meat on the bones, because these are actual events that have happened, that are recorded. These people, we know that they lived and died because it's there in black and white. So what we're experiencing, how we're connecting with spirit, we can then go to the research and say, well, yeah, this did happen, this person did do that, or this person did live in that part of the house, because we've got the proof.
Yeah, and that's what makes yours so different. It's not just
Mm,
some floaty by or something. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that. Sorry, I'm not saying that to be derogatory, but you actually, when you get the names and you get the faces, like you draw from spirit too. You come
yeah.
up with the faces and the impressions, and you draw them out. You're a great artist. And then you actually meet the people. I remember one of your episodes where you met a guardian spirit that was there, like almost like somebody that was just sticking around to watch over.
Yeah.
And that was interesting because there were other things going on, but the one spirit was just there to make sure everybody else behaved, sort of, I think.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah,
was interesting.
that's happened a few times, actually, where we have a guardian who's come forward, that has not only helped with the rescue, but has been, a spirit guide to that person. That happened with a lady called Leanne. Her spirit guide came forward, and she still, as far as I know, she still works with her now.
Yeah, I guess they wouldn't
Beautiful.
leave you, but sometimes they even know they need more help. We
Right.
can't get through to this person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're
So,
talking about spirit drawings and everything,
mhm.
and on the show, I mean, Alison's drawings are completely different to my drawings, because we work in a different way, and she just makes me smile so much, because she'll say, "I can't draw," and because everybody can draw, everybody can draw, but she'll say, "I can't draw," and she'll go, "I really can't draw," and but what she draws, it's still psychic art.
Mm,
And she draws a story. She'll draw
mm,
little tiny, so she might draw a stick character there, and then she'll draw maybe an animal, or a clock, or she might write something down, and they're really sort of little bits all over the page. And it's like having a map there, and you follow the clues on the map, as to what you're going to find when you get to the house, or what you're going to uncover, or who is actually spiritually who is there.
It's
So
almost like she's dreamed it, and you're
That's
putting
cool.
down what your dream is, and then you kind of go, "Oh, now I
yeah.
know what this means."
Well, that's interesting. You should use that term because Alison does dream a lot before we go on to a rescue. Alison will have I mean, I have dreams, but she has really very specific dreams, and she will dream and then write down what she's got from the dream state. And quite often that will come into what we're going to find when we get there, or how to unravel it even, you know. So her spirit guides work with her in that way.
I
So
guess it's
I love
easier to
it.
go through dreams sometimes, eh?
Mhm.
Even spirit finds it much easier to go through our dreams when we're
Yeah,
not blocked.
yeah, because we go, you know, the part of us that go, oh no, that's my imagination, that part's gone to sleep.
That's awesome. She said, "Have you had any spirit that's ever attached to you?" I've heard they can.
um I don't allow it to happen. um I have dealt with spirits who have been attached to other people. But I personally haven't had any attached to me. But I think that's because of the field that I work in, that I know um, how I can recognize straight away an energy that's not right. My guides would never allow that to happen.
And you give them permission to keep everything else away. You go in
Sure.
prepared. You've asked
Yeah.
your guides to keep you safe and the angels in and everything else. So
Yeah.
that's part of it, right?
Yeah.
That's part of,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
if you had that team set up ahead of time, that
Hmm.
they're able to keep
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. That's
So
it. And that it is teamwork. It's teamwork not only with who you're working with on the earth plane, like with Alison and I, or it's teamwork, you know, with your spirit team as well. And yeah, I have a doorkeeper who doesn't let anybody in. He stands there like this. Nah, you're not coming in. No, don't think so.
I love
I
that.
love that.
Yeah,
That
I
is so
need some
cool.
of that.
Do you find that, I mean, have you, I guess you probably would have, but spirits who have a sense of humor, you know,
Hmm.
that, you know, things like that. Like what would be your funniest experience with that?
My main spirit guide, I hate to say my main spirit guide because I've got a lot of main people who are spirit guides. But the one that I've been aware of for the longest of times,
Mhm.
he's a little fella. He's only a little fella, and he's Egyptian, or he was in his last incarnation. He was Egyptian, and he has got a very odd sense of humour, and we now understand each other really, really well. But in the early days, when I was asking him to let me know he was there, because I needed proof, you know, I need to show me that you're there, or I need to know that I need to know it's not my imagination. I need to know that you're really here with me.
Mhm.
So he would put a hat on my head, and it was the oddest feeling to have this hat on my head. So it's like if I took these headphones off now, I'd still feel as though I'd got something there. And that's how
Mhm.
it felt. And so I was at a spiritualist church on the rostrum. It was when a very, very, very early days when I was about to just embark on what I was doing. I was so nervous. And I said to him, I really need to know you're here. And so I'd got the hat on the head, and I doubted it. And I said, you got to do something else. Well, he pinched my kneecap like that, either side, like that. And I nearly hit the deck. And all I could hear was him laughing. And he said, well, you asked for it.
That's fun. I love that. I think it'd be amazing. Like, I think, you know, I guess my biggest question is like, you know, obviously a lot of people, when they think about spirits, automatically have that fear pop up, right? Because they're afraid of, you know, what they might
afraid
see
of
or what they
ghosts.
might hear. Right. Ghosts, right? So going into a situation like that or having an experience, how do you determine between fear and between, you know, your actual like gut feeling about something?
That's when the team come in. You know,
Mhm.
you've almost got to separate yourself
Mhm.
from how you are feeling. I mean, obviously, you need to go with that gut feeling
Right.
because that's your intuition, the knowing. But when you send all your spider senses out,
Mhm.
and so you're working with your chakras and you're working with the energy, and you're gauging what the information is being, how that information is being sent back from the spirit you're working with, the energy that's coming from that spirit. And they will try and scare you, you know, mainly because they're scared. You know, so they may have done something bad, and so they're scared of going over to the light. They don't know what to expect, so they're a little bit, so they're trying to get rid of you so you don't have to put them in that position. So you've not only got your own apprehension, you've got their fear as well. So you've got to try and separate what is your fear or your interpretation of fear and what is theirs. And if they're frightened, why are they, what is causing that to make them like that? So I tend to go in with the attitude of, there's a reason for this. Let's find out what the reason is. I liken it to spirit counseling. I think it's like spirit counseling. You know, if somebody's angry, why are they angry? What's made them angry? There's a reason for that. You don't get angry for no reason. There's something that's happened. So it's the same with spirit. I treat spirit just the same as I would if I was talking, well, like I'm talking to you now.
So these are spirits who have died but haven't actually transitioned into the light and haven't got all their all their stuff together, and all sorted out. So they haven't realized that maybe A, they're totally dead, or B, that they're not forgiven, and that there's not a big pit of fiery hell waiting for them. Is that kind of what happens from
Yeah. Yeah, it can do it, but sometimes they have gone over, but they still want to come back for whatever reason. So they're not trapped, but they still have a message. So the vibration is different. It's not an angry vibration or a frustrated vibration. It's more of an urgency. Like I need to let them know that I'm okay. I need to give them a message. Or my brother's father-in-law, when he passed away, he actually rang my brother up. And I was in the house when it happened. The phone went. Kevin answered the phone. I went into him, and he was white. And I said, "Whatever is the matter?" And he said, "Well, Al just called me." So I said, "Really?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, what did he say?" He said, "Well, he just said, will you make sure Beryl's okay?"
Wow.
And Beryl's his wife. And there was another personal message that went with that as well. And I said, "Well, how did he sound?" He said, "A long way away."
That is so awesome.
That is very
These are
cool.
spirits that don't need rescuing, right? These
Yeah.
like spirits often pop in. Our loved ones will pop in to say hello if we ask them to, or if they want, like, have a message. Like, but I don't think anybody's ringing us up. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's very cool.
I'd like to get an email. That'd be cool. It's just energy, right? So I'm sure they could email. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, I've been in a property where a computer has been turned on by spirit. And it was, you know, the guy who called us into the house. This wasn't for rescue mediums. This was a private job that I went to, and he came running into the lounge and he said, "Oh my God, you've got to come in here quick." He said the computer's just turned on all by itself, and he was nowhere near it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, so they can use energy. Yeah, absolutely. Because you know, it is an energy force. It's like with the electricity. You can't see it, but you put your finger in a socket, and you'll soon know it's there.
That is so cool.
Do you have any, like, sort of, I don't know, for people who are beginning to just, like, any exercises you like to use for beginners in psychic development and maybe reaching out? quick.
Ooh. How about activating our spidey senses? I love
Yeah.
that you say that.
Yeah.
Well, this is where the boring teacher in me comes out, because, I am a stickler for grounding. You've got to ground first, so you're anchoring your own energy, and you're getting rid of anything that you've absorbed or held on to. So you're preparing to do, a lot of, particularly with youngsters. I'm going to pick on the youngsters today, because a lot of youngsters will go and they'll want to do, ghost hunts and things like that, because it's exciting and everything. But they don't realize that the dangers that are involved if you don't really know what you're doing. So grounding is what I teach first of all, grounding and protection. How to open all your chakras properly. If that's what you intend to do, you want to communicate with spirit, you need to open all your chakras. I mean, you don't have to. Spirit will still communicate with you, as you all know. They will still communicate, but you're setting the intention to learn, and you're learning from spirit. That's where the information comes from. So opening all your chakras, and then meditation. And meditation is the only way that you can enhance your spiritual and psychic ability,
Yeah.
because that's where we learn. We learn from lifting our own vibrations, connecting with spirit guides, and the information comes from them.
Very cool.
Yeah.
You make it
So,
sound so easy.
Yeah.
I think the hardest thing that anybody can ever learn is the difference between imagination and communication. Because there's a line. It's like, is that my imagination or not? And if that is the case, I always ask spirit to give me something else. Give it to me again, but give it to me in a different way, so that I know that what I'm getting is right, or confirm it by giving me a password. So just give you an example of that. So when my dad was very, very poorly, we had a password. The password was anchor. Okay, so because he used to be in the Merchant Navy, so it was the obvious thing. So whenever I need I need to know that I'm doing the right thing, I'll say, come on, Dad, just give me a sign. Just let me know, is this the right thing for me to do? I can look out of the window and there may be a vehicle going past and it has Anchor Butter written on the side of it. I'll go, yeah, okay. But give me something else. And my dad must be there going, oh, for goodness sake, girl. And then I could go outside and there might be a child with a picture of an anchor on a T-shirt. So spirit will always give you extra proof if you ask them for it.
I totally agree. This is funny. Terry was saying, Patty was saying, last night my friend Terry stopped by to look in on his dog who had passed before he went, who he had passed on. The dog looked up and, okay.
Yeah.
So Patty's friend who had passed stopped by to look in on his dog, and the dog looked up and tail wagged, and I said, "Is Terry here?" And the dog wagged his tail again. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
I think animals are very, very sensitive, right?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. They do know. They know when spirit are there.
Yeah. There's Megan. Megan's on. Hello, Megan.
Oh, hi, Megan.
Said you taught me well, Jackie, at Feathers, and I'm still learning.
Well, actually, I cannot take all the credit for teaching Megan, because Megan was taught by my colleague Steve Furlong, and so Megan became part of Feathers from a very young age, through her mum, who's also called Jackie, great name, of course. And Steve taught them both, and then Megan came and she developed, and sort of I took her under my wing. So it's a progression of where you go, and I think that's the thing with Feathers. Everybody who works at Feathers is trained there.
Yeah.
So we all we're all part. So even if the people who have trained at Feathers are no longer there anymore, they've gone on to do their own things, they're still part of that Feathers. Like Alison trained at Feathers, and she's still part of the Feathered, clan. So Feathered clan keep in touch with each other.
I know that.
Yeah.
Feather
Awesome.
family. I
It's
love
awesome to
that.
have such a flock. You know, sorry.
There you go.
I'm sorry. That's the Canadian sad humor. So dad jokes coming on. But no, that's awesome. I really enjoyed our chat. So anything new with paranormal, veryparanormal.com, what you're working with right now?
There are a couple of projects with veryparanormal.com. It's going in a slightly different direction. We're really excited about that. It's got some new things that we will be introducing. We're so glad that you are all part of that as well. And we're always looking out for for new people to join us to expand the portal, if you like, a portal for everything paranormal. And as far as I'm concerned, as I say, I'm working on this project with Megan, and Steve Furlong and I are working on another. We've got a couple of things on the go, actually.
Oh gosh, we're going to have you back
I
when you can
know.
talk about these things.
I know that we've been working on one. We've been working on for a while. The other is we've got a book that we're hoping to get produced this year. So Steve and I have been working on that for a few years now. It's a case of trying to fit it in with everything else, but that's nearly ready to be published. So
can you tell us the name of that book?
Well, we've got a working title with it, so I can't even tell you. But it is a psychic development book. It's
that's awesome.
yeah, it's how to learn how to develop your own psychic ability. If you're going to do spirit rescue work, it also covers that as well. So it covers everything that psychic art, everything that you would learn in house. Will be in the book, including
Like
yeah, exactly, yeah, it is like a workbook. And there's also examples of things that Steve and I have experienced together, investigations that we've gone, how we've tackled it, so there's quite a few of those stories that are in there to give you an idea of what went on and how we tackled it. And again, it's a tutorial, really. That was the aim of it right from the very, very start.
Well, that sounds exciting. Sounds like
Yeah,
something I want on my shelf.
yeah,
Yeah, that's so cool.
yeah.
Anything else? Bex, you have some questions for
I
Jackie.
do. I have the fun questions. So the first one is, if you had to choose a song to be the theme song of your life, what would that be?
Oh, well, I always go 1960s. 1960s music is my dad. However, having said that, one does come to mind, and that is "Oh Happy Day," because it always makes me feel really happy whenever I hear it,
Yeah, that's
And you
fun.
get that big note going up. I can't sing, so I'm not even going to attempt
Let's make a joyful noise, Jackie. That's all they say. You don't have to sing.
There you go.
Okay, second question is, what's your favorite crystal you're working with right now?
Oh, well, I love the amethyst. I always love amethyst. I've got quite a lot of favorite crystals. Amethyst is one that I work with every single day. I've got an amethyst pyramid that I have on my work table. I use that, it's funny that when I use that, because it's got lots of inclusions in it. And so sometimes I use it like a crystal ball.
Okay.
When I'm doing a reading, sometimes spirit will tell me they'll show me things in it. So it's just sitting on my desk and I'm doing a reading for someone. Then all of a sudden I'm looking at it and I can see things moving in it like I can in a crystal ball. So I'll pick it up and use it then like a crystal ball. So yeah, I love amethyst.
Amethyst is one of my favorites too. Yeah, it's amazing to work with. Absolutely beautiful energy, and definitely has that Merlin energy too, which I love. I love that so much. Okay, and the last question is, have you, I guess, recently experienced extra dimensional intelligence?
Not recently. I have in the past, only on one occasion, but it was definitely something that I could see. I could physically see it, but not recently. However, having said that, I do believe that when we connect spiritually. We're connecting not just with spirit guides who have once lived on the earth plane and gone over. There are universal energies out there that we connect with as well, that, you know, who knows where they originated from, and does it really matter, as long as as long as everybody works together for the good of the universe, that has to be a good thing, surely.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I think it's just incredible. Actually, I wasn't even thinking about it. My son called me the other night, and he was driving through this place where the first known abduction in the United States happened, is right in New Hampshire. And he was near there on the other side of Franconia Notch. And he was like, Mom, he calls me, he's like, I'm seeing lights in the sky. He's like, what's happening? And he's all about aircraft. Like, he knows aircraft. He studies that. He knows drones. Like, he would know if it was something that, anything that would be military, that. And he's like, I don't know what it is. He's like, I'm kind of freaking out. I was like, it's okay. Just tell him I said hi. Like, you're good. But it was so cool because, like, he's never really been big on believing in that kind of stuff. And for him to have an experience, there was nobody else around. It was just him. And it was just, it was so cool to be able to have that with him over the phone. And so for me, who hasn't had a lot of experiences, that was a pretty cool event.
Yeah. So he got downloaded.
He did. That's why I said to him, I was like, just, you're getting, they're activating you for something. I said, first of all, because they only let you see them when you're ready. When they know you're ready, you will see them. So you're being activated. I said, just trust. It's okay. I was like, you're safe. And he's like, I'm watching them, like, they're fading in and out. They're not really moving that much. Like, it was just, he couldn't understand what was happening, but, like, was actually pretty calm considering, driving through a dark place at night, and it was, not a lot of cars, and seeing that, I think that could definitely flip somebody out. But It was very cool. Yeah, very cool.
I'm glad
He's probably gonna be mad at me for sharing it. Sorry, I shared it on the show, but yeah, I just thought it was very cool. Very cool thing and for him to say, you're the first person I thought of, I'm like, thank you. Made my night.
You know what? Yeah. Isn't that great, though, that your kids can talk to you like that? And my kids, that they can come and talk to me. My grandkids as well. It's that, oh, my nana talks to dead people.
Right. Could you talk to your parents like that, Jackie?
I can do now, but I couldn't do when I was a teenager. But years later, I found out that my nan, my dad's mum, actually, she was very open to this kind of thing, but I never knew that. I didn't know that until much later in life, which is a shame, because I could have talked to her about it. I think she was a bit scared by it, but she was open to it. But mum and dad, my dad's passed away now, but mum is 90 next year, and she's amazing. And she's very open to all of this. She'll say to me, oh, will you go and ask your Jeremiah or whatever his name is? Will you go and ask him, to do something about this or to do something about that? So, and of course, Jeremiah is my spirit guide. So, she's very open to it, and if she loses anything, she always calls on them lot upstairs to help her to find it.
That's so funny. I love that.
Yeah, I think fear blocks a lot of us from so much in doing, so much experience, so much, not only in like communicating with spirits, but communicating with people. The fear that we hold, right, that keeps us from just speaking what we want to people. I think fear is really just like so debilitating. Like
yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's right. Oh, Patty says, your mom says that spirit is a spirit, not a handyman.
Oh yeah, she said you should say, tell your mom he's a spirit, not a handyman.
Yeah.
I love that. That's
no
so
job
cute.
too small. No,
right. Yeah. She'll have her honeydew list ready.
I'm loving all the colours behind all of you today. They're gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. I've just got stark white with a little,
Well, that makes it easier to see auras.
You have a space, but we have just a little space of our space. So, if you saw what the rest of my office looked like right now, you wouldn't want to see it.
Top
So,
secret.
top
Yeah, and
secret.
I'm prepared as well today. My
I
daughter
Oh, I
love
love your
that.
mug. That's gorgeous
Beautiful.
too.
Yeah,
It's got a big feather on it.
I love
yeah.
that.
So we have, you will be on our podcast too. We will upload this audio to our podcast, which is something new we started this year. So we're so happy that you're on one of our first of the second season, which is really the first season. So we're excited that you're on there, and we hope to have you back when you can tell us all about your new projects.
Yeah.
Because we'll have to keep. Yeah, hopefully you'll announce that everywhere so we can find out.
Oh,
And
yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
we'll like grab some of your feathers people and see if they're interested in coming on too and telling them what they're
Yeah.
doing. Megan,
That would be fun.
yeah.
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
love that.
you should chat with Megan, and you should chat with Steve Furlong as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Steve is he did a lot of, when he was younger, a lot of out of body work. So he's into astral travel.
Oh, that would be
Fun.
cool.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So, and he teaches astral travel. I mean, he and I teach together. And we have a lot of banter between the two of us. We've worked together for a long time, and we just sort of know each other's energy, and it works really well. And whenever I come to Canada to teach, it's Steve who is the person who comes with me.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
Mhm.
Well, I hope you can come again soon. This hopefully this wave that started like over in Europe is starting to go down, and we'll be out of lockdown, I hope, soon.
Well, we were hoping to come over in May. That's what this year we were hoping to do, that and do some workshops, but we can't even make those plans now until we know what's happening globally.
Right, for
and
sure.
everybody's just got to be sensible and careful, haven't they?
Yeah, that's true. Sensible is A1.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
so, Bex, you have.
I have the winner.
You have the winner.
I do. And okay. So the winner of last week's Share It Out, who won a session with me, is Tammy Griffiths. Congratulations. I'll be contacting you to get that scheduled. And whoever shares out this episode the most will win a session with Teresa. And this only applies to those who are watching us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We do not have this available for our podcast.
Yes, not yet.
Not yet.
But if you watch us live and just peek in and share it out from our live programs, then you will be. So we just like the podcast, so because you don't need to hear it. Usually it's speaking, so it works well for a podcast.
Yes.
And everybody, and we love your new sound, Teresa. It sounds great.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Jackie. And
you're welcome.
We appreciate you, and we appreciate your very paranormal team, which makes it very easy to upload our program since, we're not that techie, but just techie enough, I guess. So thanks so much. And we'll see you all next week, everyone. Any final words there, Teresa, before we go?
Namaste.
Namaste. Thanks, Jackie.
Mwah, mwah. Oh, so elegant. So elegant.